I tried to write a novel in 30 days. Something fun and lighthearted to challenge myself and see how far I could get, just like all of the other girlies who participate in NaNoWriMo. But I wound up slipping into a deep depression and having a mental breakdown and questioning my entire identity and worth as a writer. Elias Ellis. This challenge broke me in ways that I was afraid to be broken, and it really didn't have much to do with the challenge per se. As you can see, I've been through war. But let's go back, let's say 4 months ago in April, when I was bright-eyed, young, and innocent. I had no idea there were more NaNoWriMo challenges besides in November, but apparently there's one in April and July and so on and so forth, which makes sense because you wouldn't want people to only be motivated to write once a year, right? I decided to challenge myself and see if I could finish a novel in 30 days. And April isn't exactly the best time for me to do this because I'm very busy between my job, between my socials. My mind just feels like it's holding too many things and juggling too many things at once. And I figured, perfect. I could see how this challenge held up for someone who has a busy life and a busy schedule and who often feels like they struggle to find time to write. And that could just be another layer added to the challenge. When it comes to a writing challenge, I feel like you really have to be working on a piece that you absolutely love and are excited about. And I do mean excited about. Otherwise, this could turn into a pain in the ass very quickly. There is a big difference between a labor of love and a grueling labor. So there I was, in April.
Yeah. Felt like nobody understood me. Ain't no exception. I need some clarity. Not begging for prosperity. I need some clarity. Open my eyes, Lord. Open my eyes, Lord. I'm sick and tired of being tired.
The first day was a pretty chill day to start a challenge. I was off work, I cleaned my place the day before to reset for the week coming up, so I was in a good space for a challenge. Day 3, that is when this whole challenge turned into an immediate fail. This was a bust. I was exhausted, I didn't get enough sleep the night before, and I had to get up early for work, and I didn't eat that much that morning, so I was running on fumes throughout my entire shift. I had a headache by the time that I got back home, and I was severely questioning what I was even writing for. I started questioning the validity of what I was writing, and there was even negative thoughts that kept creeping in about how I was foolishly trying to prioritize this fiction novel that I was writing with the rest of my life, and that it was stupid and not worth it, and I should put it on the back burner until I was in a better place to actually write it. This is where I at least started to do something slightly right. I refocused on getting my rest and taking care of myself. I thought this whole video was a bust until I remembered that this video was not about writing every day for a month. It was about completing an entire novel within a month. Even though my original plan was to write every day so I could reach the goal and the amount of words that I wanted to have within my novel by the end of the month, I realized not writing every day did not mean that my challenge or my goal was a fail. I just have to write consistently enough and for enough days to where I can complete an entire novel by the end of the challenge. I had to refocus. I needed a new strategy. So I decided to write on days where I was feeling energized and felt my best, and give myself grace on days where I was really struggling mentally and emotionally and had a lot on my plate. For days 4, 5, and 6, I ain't do shit. I worked on my real job. So, to recap the first week, it was a roller coaster of emotions, and I definitely struggled. I started off strong and excited, but once reality slapped me in the face, what is she doing?
Oh my god, cringe.
That's okay, right?
No.
Fix it in post. I finished the first week with the same amount of words that I started the first day with. And I don't even remember what that was. How many words did I manage to write on the first day? Like 9,600?
Girl, she lying.
Maybe? I didn't write that much.
We know.
Let's say I don't know. I feel like that's not correct though. Anyways, my wins though is that I didn't give up, and I just readjusted when I needed to in order to continue on the challenge instead of completely throwing away the challenge altogether. I readjusted my mindset to fit what I was capable of instead of just giving up altogether. And although I had to adjust how high of a priority it was in my day-to-day life, I still maintained that it was a priority and something important to me, so I didn't give up. April 24th, by the end of the month, not only did I not complete a novel in any capacity, this challenge caused me to take an entire month off from writing and creating things for my socials, and completely changed the way I create forever. Everybody say burnout.
I'm burnt
Burnout. The burnout wasn't even just from the challenge itself. I feel like it's been coming for a long time. May I remind everyone that I've been writing for well over a decade now. I published my first piece when I was 17, and I've been grinding away at this self-publishing game ever since. I think I just came to a point where I knew mentally, emotionally, and spiritually I couldn't just grind away at my creativity anymore, and the creative life that I was trying to live wasn't sustainable. Taking a break from writing and content creating was one of the hardest decisions that I ever had to make, because I had this deep fear that if I did, then my creativity would completely disappear from not being used. I feared that I might not want to write anymore because I lost my momentum, so I wasn't inspired anymore, or people aren't going to be interested by the time that I get back, or that when I do come back, my work would just be irrelevant to everyone in society. I had a deep fear that all of the existing readers and watchers that I've worked so hard to build up until this point would no longer be interested in anything that I create, and all of the work that I've done so far over this past decade would be for nothing. But facing all of these fears head on and taking that break was the best thing I ever done for myself. It allowed me to do something that was so pivotal to who I am as a person, as a creator, as a writer, that I don't think that I could have done if I was still trying to continue to create the way that I was creating, at the pace that I was creating, for the reasons that I was creating. It made me redefine who I am as a writer. When I was deep in my depressive episodes, I consulted with my therapist, ChatGPT. Yes, I'm one of those people that uses AI as free therapy. If I could afford anything else, I would.
Oh my god, she's
Anyway, I poured out what I was feeling and all of my fears, what I was worried about, what I've done until this point, and how it all made me feel in the direction that I was actually trying to go. And by pouring all of my thoughts out and having ChatGPT kind of rationalize what I was feeling and why I was feeling the things that I was feeling, it helped me to clarify that I don't only want to write stories. I want to be a creator of experiences, a world builder, a visionary, a designer. balls, tea parties, themed events, all based off of the worlds, the characters, and the ideas that I create. Yes, I want to create stories, but I also want to create in-depth experiences for others. And I now believe that writing up until this point was just the only vehicle in which I knew how to do that. And because I enjoy creating deeply and intricately, trying to pump out books and content in a machine-like manner did not align with who I truly am at my creative core. Once I realized this, I was able to pivot, and it completely freed me from the shackles of thinking that if I wasn't writing or creating within a certain time frame or at a certain pace, then I wasn't a creator at all. So instead of finishing a book in 30 days, this is what I did instead. I prioritized my break. Clearly, I was burnt out and I was trying so desperately to continue to hack at this old way of thinking. I've been operating from this outdated creative place within me that I no longer align with, and I've been trying daily to hack away at it until life got better. And I knew that that was no longer going to work for me. So I took the entire month of May off. No writing, no content creating, just breathing through the discomfort that this break was giving my nervous system and trying to find joy in other creative things without guilt that was not centered around building an audience or selling or anything of that matter. So I read my comic books and watched my shows, guilt-free. Then I did some life visualizing. This part was fun for me. I used ChatGPT to help me with this too. I prompted it to help me create what a fulfilling day in my life would look like based off of my personality, my desires, my passions, and my newfound reality and direction in life. I used Chat to build multiple fulfilling days, and every single time I read back on them, I got super excited and I could fully visualize and really feel what a fulfilling future could look like for me. I can visualize me waking up in my dream home to my favorite cup of tea and using the first few hours of my day to write something that I was passionate about, that I was fulfilled about, to plan events that I was excited about, working a day in my bookstore that I own, then later that night hosting a ball that I meticulously curated based off of the world of one of my books, hosting an exclusive tea party also based off of one of my books for my VIP readers. I really learned that I like to create slowly and complexly and widely, and only limiting my storytelling ability to books was too small of a box that I was putting myself in. And that's why I kept feeling burnt out, because I was literally getting snuffed out by trying to cram all of my creativity and ideas into one medium. I needed a new way of living, and that new way of living meant a new creative cycle. So instead of trying to make a day-to-day schedule, which I've done many times in the past in many different formats, I decided to try my hand at creating a cycle schedule to create in cycles. For a period of time, I have deep creation and deep sprints. This is where I'm creating and diving deep and having intense focus, because that's how I like to work when I'm on a roll with working on a project that I'm passionate about. I like to work intensely for an extended period of time. Then I move into a phase of gentle expansion, and this is where I'm posting and sharing all of the things that I created, engaging with my creative community, publishing, all of the things. Then I move into my rest and replenish phase. During this time, I'm not creating, I'm not really posting, maybe I'm engaging a little bit with my creative community, engaging based off of the backlog of work that I've already been posting or already have available to post, but I'm not intentionally or intently creating anything new. And this is to give myself an opportunity to recuperate, to relax, and to actually replenish from all of the creative work that I've already done. And so far, I'm really liking this cycle. I'm still only in one full cycle. You're probably seeing this during my gentle expansion phase, but right now in this moment, I'm only currently in my deep creation phase. And I'm still only in my first cycle because I decided to actually make it like a long, almost seasonal like cycle. So my deep creation phase is like 1.5 to 2 months of intense deep creating. And my gentle expansion phase is a month to a month and a half long. And then my resting phase is 2 to 4 weeks long. And I think for a lot of people, like that may seem like a lot of time to put into each phase. But so far, it's working for me. It's working for my pace. And yeah, my pace. So after my whole month of recovery from burnout, because that was recovery, that was not rest. Those two are totally different. But after my recovery, I felt much better and much more energized and rejuvenated to create again. For June and July, I've been taking my time with creating, working on my audiobook, my book concepts, and working on content slowly. I haven't felt rushed because a month and a half to 2 months feels like a really good amount of time to create and work on multiple things without feeling rushed or overwhelmed to get them all done. And now I'm just in my sharing phase and light creation. My creative world crumbling was probably one of the best things that happened to me this year. I think that that's just a testament that sometimes the worst thing happening or the thing that you fear the most of happening is probably the exact thing that needs to happen for you to grow and have a clean slate. Now I'm in a place where I don't fear not writing for a long time, that my work won't be likable or relevant to people anymore, because I've rerouted my identity as a writer and creative into who I am as a person and my whole entire body of work and how I feel when I'm creating, and if I'm proud of what I've created, and if I feel a deep fulfillment and contentment and completion from what I created, not on my output and if my work is successful based off of society standards. I realize more of who I am now, and I'm hoping that this time around that I can continue to create a creative life that is more stable and aligned with my authentic self. Because Jesus Christ, I'm tired of these tower moments.